Stephen in Monroe, Connecticut. Back to the phones we go. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, very good. It's a real honor, Rush. Thank you very much.
You bet, sir.
Well, I was just actually hoping that if anybody can do it, you can address some of my concerns about this tax plan that I'm having. To start off with, basically, I know they're doing this under reconciliation because they can't get the 60 votes. And I think right there is the big problem with this bill. When you're doing something that's revenue neutral and you're giving tax breaks, then you're shifting money around, essentially. And my biggest concern is if they're giving such a huge tax break to corporations, which I'm not normally opposed to, but if it has to become revenue neutral, I have not heard anybody talk about where that $1.5 trillion is being made up from in the end. So that's my big concern. I was hoping you can give me some answers on that.
Okay. The first thing I'd like to say to this is I'm hearing a lot of people, ostensibly conservatives. You're like the third or fourth conservative that's called here and wanted to know, well, what about the deficit? Where are we going to make up for the money? And I don't remember a damn single one of these calls when Obama was blowing the national debt in double, from 10 to 20 trillion. I don't remember the concerns. I don't remember, so what are we going to get the money to pay for this? I know people were opposed to Obama. Don't misunderstand me here, but where was the proportionate concern and outrage over what Obama was doing to the national debt? So we want to oppose this or provide roadblocks to it because there might be $1.5 trillion here that we might not be able to come up with and fund because of budget reconciliation and all that. Here's my attitude on this, and I've been saying it all week. I don't know that there's a tax cut here when you get right down to it, and I'm probably going to get beat up for this. But if the government doesn't lose any money, where is the tax cut? Why should it be revenue neutral? What the hell is so magnificent about revenue neutral? The government, it ought to cost them some money. But Russia's the deficit that's costing us money. Nobody has these concerns when the Democrats do it. And all of this, the complaints that I've had are all focusing on the corporate reduction. So I'm thinking seminar callers here, number one. I think we've had 3 or 4 of them in a row here. Knowing I'm going to tell you is what I've told everybody. Get out of the way. There's going to be unforecasted economic growth resulting from this that nobody in Washington can accurately predict because they don't believe in this. They've got themselves so tied up in the idea that cutting taxes is a zero-sum game that if you cut taxes, Washington guaranteed to lose money. And, we can't have that. I think there's going to be more economic growth than people are forecasting. I think there's going to be more money rolling into the Treasury. They're already collecting record amounts of tax revenue even before this thing goes into effect. But the bottom line is, I'm not going to fall for some notion that says I or a corporation gets a tax cut, and that's why the government is in trouble. This is a spending problem. It's their problem, not ours. Grab a call in here, get it before the hour expires. Mary in Salt Lake City, thank you for waiting. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Thank you.
You bet.
I have no doubt that this tax plan is going to be successful because my husband and I lived through the Reagan administration, and we thrived as a couple in the family when he did those tax cuts. And since then, it has been difficult for us because of all the tax plan that Clinton did. If you remember, he did a retroactive tax on us when his first year, and we had to cough up $1,800 just to pay our portion of that. And that was very, very difficult for us to do that. Even Obamacare had hidden taxes with the health care plan when he dropped the $4,800 flex plan deduction and put it down to $2,000. That was a tax increase on us. But anyway, I'm so happy and ecstatic for this, and I'm just one joyful American today and wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas, Rush.
Well, I appreciate that. You're very kind, and I can't thank you enough. I'm glad you're out there each day, Mary, and I hope you have a great rest of the year and as many more as you want. We'll take a brief time out and be back after this. Well. Look at this. Just end CNBC, AT&T has announced that it's going to pay a special $1,000 bonus to more than 200,000 AT&T employees in America due to the passage of tax reform, and that they will also increase U.S. capital spending by $1 billion. Now, you know what the left is going to say. It's just a PR thing. They don't really mean it. They don't really. It's like when David Koch donated $25 million to some hospital in New York. The nurses said, he doesn't mean it. He doesn't really mean it. He should take it back. He's just trying to hide that he's a racist. And so they're just going to say, AT&T doesn't mean this, even though they're actually going to bonus their employees $1,000. Either that, they can afford much more. They're a bunch of tightwads. They don't really mean it. This is just a PR move. They don't really mean it, even though they're doing it. AT&T, could you put another cell tower closer to where I live? I'm tired of having to switch over to Verizon when I'm at home and driving to work. AT&T, while you're thinking about building a new tower closer to where I live, could you maybe see if you can find some missing Hillary emails with the Russians? Greetings. I'm not kidding. AT&T, $1,000 bonus, 200,000 AT&T American employees.